Candace Owens has decided to attack Charlie Kirk's pastor because Charlie Kirk's pastor did the right thing and called out Candace Owens. Candace couldn't take that, ladies and gentlemen. She didn't like the pastor calling her out, so she decided to attack him. Here is what she had to say in her recent live stream, which is making a lot of money from. I'll have you know. Have a watch.
Lastly, I want to say to this new flex operation mocking pastor, regarding which, by the way, the first time they went after Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, a source told me, and I would love to get this confirmed, I'm going to find this out, that $150 million was spent on that, and it came from Bibi Netanyahu. I would like to figure out if that's true. But anyways, obviously investigating this, and I'm not going to let it go, okay? You're not going to emotionally use some jujitsu, and I'm referring here to Roy or Rob McCoy, who says, I'm Charlie's pastor, and here's the truth, or whatever it is, to look the other way right now, okay? You're not going to tell me that I have to feel too bad to investigate who shot my friend in front of my face. So stop the nonsense. This is what Charlie's pastor passed around to all of the people that were intimidating Charlie leading up to his death. It's funny that Charlie's pastor couldn't find his voice when Bibi Netanyahu was lying about Charlie. Here's pastor. You know what he's saying are lies. No, he didn't find his voice saying anything about Bibi Netanyahu. Candace investigating things? Yeah, that's got to stop. Here's what he wrote, okay? What's his name? Rob McCoy. He wrote, Charlie Kirk was my friend and I was his pastor. I want to simply say this regarding Candace Owens. Charlie Kirk was a friend to Candace and never publicly spoke poorly of her, though he disagreed with her. He never operated nor entertained gossip or innuendo concerning Candace. My only comment I offer regarding Candace is this. I only wish at this tragic time of mourning, she would be the friend to Charlie Kirk that he was to her. He would never have treated Candace or her family in such a way had, God forbid, this tragedy been hers. A friend loves at all times, and he drops a biblical proverb. Now, let me say this, okay? I hope that Charlie would have been the sort of friend that I'm being, okay? He would have never, why? Why wouldn't Charlie Kirk have investigated if I had been killed and we were being so obviously lied to? I think you're wrong. I think you're wrong. I think Charlie was a real friend and he would not have dropped it. He would not have let it go, least of all because he was being emotionally manipulated by a guy who curiously kept his mouth shut when Bibi lied. You knew, if you were really his close friend and pastor, how he was feeling about Bibi Netanyahu. You knew, if you're his close friend and pastor, exactly the names of everybody who was intimidating him and how poorly they are misrepresenting the things that he believed. So why don't you focus on being more honest as a pastor and giving as much information as you can possibly provide so that we can continue this investigation? If you can't do this, I'm going to have to ask for your silence, okay? Be quiet.
So firstly, she's got a source that told her that Bibi Netanyahu apparently spent $150 million. Now, I don't know about you, but if that's a lot of money, okay? And Patrick Bet-David and the Patrick Bet-David team, right, they made an offer to Tucker Carlson. It was very well publicized. People knew all about it. And I didn't hear a peep about a foreign entity or a foreign nation making a huge monetary amount to Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA. Never heard a peep. I think that's a pretty big deal if you got the Israeli government offering that amount of money to Charlie Kirk, and apparently Charlie Kirk turns it down. Interesting, isn't it? But no, the lies continue. They love to continue under Candy Owens because that's what she does. She lies, and she would love to get it confirmed. Hasn't even got the truth. Can't stand this woman. So you're investigating who killed Charlie Kirk. Because apparently, and like I don't know about you guys, but I didn't see her right there. I didn't see her at the event. I didn't see Charlie get shot right in her face. I did not see any of that. Sure, everyone saw the video footage. You want to say that Charlie is your friend? The pastor called you out and said, this is not how friends behave. That's all he was doing. You, on the other hand, have taken it upon yourself to capitalize upon his death financially. Anyone else seem to think that she's doing this for a specific reason? Because she's being sued into oblivion. So she's trying to make a great deal of money. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here is a massive distinction between Candace Owens and Patrick Bet-David, a man of good character and a good faith. So Patrick Bet-David and his team, they were selling merch, and they said, however much merch we buy, we're going to be donating the gross amount to Turning Point USA. They sold over $100,000 worth. They donated the entire amount. Anyone that continues to buy merch from them, they donate the profits to Turning Point USA. Candace, on the other hand, look at this. Have a watch.
And thank you for that donation. Thank you to everyone who went on to my website and bought a hat, one of our CIA hats, bought a t-shirt, and supported us because they're going to sue us all. We're going to sue you until you agree, okay? And threaten to sue you and have lawyers involved, and we will crush you because we're really good people, is what they say. And the rumors aren't true. Okay. Now that we all got it out of our system, sue, 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 sue. Read some more comments.
She sounds like a 2-year-old little baby. Like she's really cheesed off at something. Oh, and by the way, they tormented Charlie Kirk until the day he died. Who is they? I'm pretty sure everyone wants to know who is they. Mish, who I follow on X, and she follows me back. Thank you, Mish. I think what you say is amazing. If you're watching this. Who is they? Everyone wants to know, who is they? Some mystery group, evidently. And then she goes, this is a fact. Pressure, intimidation, financial threat. Stop lying. Who the hell's lying? The only person that I see that is lying at the moment is you, woman, Tucker. You can't even let Charlie Kirk rest. But instead, you've got to capitalize upon his death. Charlie told me all in private. Like, he told me all of this stuff, that he hated Benjamin Netanyahu, he was changing his mind on Israel, he was getting a lot of pressure from Israeli lobby groups, everything. And the moment he was assassinated, I run to do the media and social media to tell the world what he told me privately before his wife even had a chance to bury her husband, the father of her children. I never said a single word of this while he was alive. But now that he is dead, I have spent every single day hammering home his alleged private conversations to me. I am the one who is honest and righteous. Imagine thinking this. Like, that is demonic, isn't it? Anyone else find it interesting that Candace Owens hasn't appeared with Charlie Kirk in the last 15 months? But Candace Owens wanted to go and try and make a point of saying, well, Bibi Netanyahu was doing the podcast rounds. He went on this podcast, Patrick Bet-David's podcast. Megyn Kelly came out and said that she was offered to interview Bibi Netanyahu. She refused. Maybe Charlie refused for specific reasons. Who knows why he refused to do it? But you have a right to refuse someone on your show. He had Ben Shapiro on not that long ago. Ben's a Jew. Ben's a friend. But according to Candace, like, why did he say no to Bibi Netanyahu, of all people? Maybe they didn't even ask Charlie. We don't know. Stop insinuating. It's getting tiresome, woman. Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk were not close. Not anymore, at least. He unfollowed her 2 years ago on X. She was outed by Turning Point USA since 2019. Last month, Charlie Kirk denounced Candace Owens and called her words demonic. The day Charlie was killed, Candace fake cried about losing her best friend. Yet, if you watch that video, not a single tear fell from her eyes, nor were her eyes watering. That was the most pathetic acting I've ever seen. No wonder she failed as an actress. Some Tree of Logic. Tamari goes, hey, Candace Owens, quick question. If you and Charlie were so close as you claim, why weren't you at the Turning Point USA retreat in the Hamptons with Seth Dillon and the other young conservative influencers? You have a big platform, Candace. Don't you think you should have been invited? Did Charlie not see you as saving the West material? Maybe. And then you want to go after Charlie Kirk's pastor for bringing attention to the fact that this is not what you do as a friend. And you want to go, no, this is exactly what you do as a friend. You smear them, you blame other people, you stir the hornet's nest, you lie, and then you try and investigate his murder. She goes, I would have hoped Charlie would have done this. No, Charlie would not have done any of this. He would have left it to the bloody authorities. He would not have tried to tarnish your name while you're in the grave. You haven't even been put in the grave yet. That wasn't Charlie. Seems like people that watched him know more about Charlie than you do, and you spent a lot of time with the man. His pastor would have known more about Charlie because he probably saw him every single Sunday. But yet you, on the other hand, haven't seen him in a long time. He's called you out. He distances himself from you, and for damn good reason, because you are a narcissistic psychopath. You're not well. So stop it. And I mean, why don't you donate all of your proceeds, all of the people that have given you, bought a hat or whatever else? If this is not about money, it's not about profits, why don't you give all of it to Charlie's Turning Point USA? I wonder. You've got ads. On ads, you've got merch. Pastor Bet David did it. Why don't you? I see. I know exactly why. I want to end with this. So the brilliant Dr. Gad Sad has diagnosed Candace Owens for all of us, right? Here he is.
What do you make of Candace Owens? And I hate giving her airtime, but it's dominating so much on X, particularly at the moment. Her attempts to convince people that somehow Israel or the Jews were involved in this. I mean, what is your reaction? I'm not going to put words in your mouth. What do you feel when you see that?
Well, the first thing is, you know, I spoke to Candace on my show many years ago when she was a much lesser figure. And frankly, I regret that. I almost feel existentially soiled in the fact that I shared, even though it was remotely, that I shared the platform with her, because what she is exhibiting is exactly what happens when someone is parasitized by what I call, this is a game that I coined called 6 Degrees of Jew. It's a play on 6 Degrees of Separation or 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. And so the way the game works, Aaron, is that I give you a calamity, and you have to point it back to the Jews in 6 or fewer causal steps. And so, for example, if I were to say an Amazonian frog just died, how can we blame the Jews? Go. And I often will post this facetiously on X, and people do come up, even though they're just playing along, they will very quickly come up with 6 or fewer steps to blame the Jews. Well, it seems that much of Candace's brain has been taken up by 6 Degrees of Jew.
She's been parasitized. Gad Sad wrote The Parasitic Mind, right? Like this parasite that infests the brain and really destroys everything in the brain. That's Candace Owens. And what I think she's doing at the moment is truly horrendous. Well and truly horrendous. And the other horrendous thing is the amount of people that are following her and encouraging her. Millions of people. It's worrisome. It really is. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care. Be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.